East Village Dive Bar, New Year's Eve. Late afternoon happy hour with the usual suspects and some young soldiers who stopped by in uniform. Heavily tattooed beauties cruising hipsters with skinny suits. Obviously not from around here. Military guys are buying drinks for this old mariner and his buddy. My friend and I get feeling pretty good. He walks me home at 7. Get to my apartment, he drops down on the floor in the kitchen and starts crying. Says his life is falling apart. I kneel and I hold him for a little bit. Hey, Happy New Year, buddy. He smiles, wipes his nose with his sleeve, gets his shit together, and he's off to Bronxville to visit a lady who still cares about him, in spite of everything he's done to her. We're the dive bar New Year's guys. We don't make the morning news. We're asleep before the ball drops, because there ain't no reason to stay awake or alive much longer. We're the ghosts of New Year's past, and we're dying real slow.
Molly in the coal yard, for Molly Fitch. Crestfallen sidecack in an old cafe never slept with a dream before he had to go away. There's a bell in the tower. Uncle Ray bought around. Don't worry about the army in the cold, cold ground. Tom Waits. Years ago, after it was official I had outgrown my beloved dive, you'll hear more about that later, I was a homeless drunk until my future daughter-in-law took me down to the corner of 1st Avenue and 6th, saying, I got something for your birthday. And we walked into the coal yard. And there it was, dim, shadowy, huge, horse-shaped bar. And it was happy hour. And she brought around, which included Miller High Life and tall boy bowling alley bottles for $4. And I knew I was in my new dive bar. So I went out to the small enclosed courtyard to have a smoke, and there's this 20-foot image of a steam engine coming at you, painted on the brick walls by Billy the artist, who they said lived down on 7th Street across from Sorley's. So every time I was in town, of course, I made a beeline down to the Lower East Side after getting off the train to slug a few High Life. Quickly fell into the routine, grab a seat at the bar, still on one of the end horseshoe curve that I told Molly designed. Get out my notebook, politely order a cold one, sitting in front of the cold big glass window overlooking 1st Avenue, and you know what, man, I was in heaven. Gradually, over the next few months, established myself as a semi-regular and got to know the bartenders. Sebastian, Aaron, Jessica, Danielle, Claire, Ashley, Elaine, Joan, Lindsay, Aaron, Nick, Everett, and Tyler. And on one evening, after staying longer than I usually did, too many last ones, shoved off down the L to Brooklyn to see my son. I got about 2 blocks out and heard a voice calling after me, "Hey, mister, you forgot your notebook." It was Aaron, breathlessly chasing my sorry, sodden ass to give it back to me. And man, I kind of knew I was in. I had been adopted. Then one night, I took notice of a distinct presence on the other side of the bar, intently sizing me up. And then another Miller was in place in front of me, and Aaron said, "That one's on the boss." And I looked up and tipped my cap at Molly, who grinned broadly at me, nodding in recognition. Once in the middle of the winter Sunday afternoon, the bar awash in sunlight. Molly sat down next to me, and we had a long conversation. It started for saying, "So you're the writer or something?" I smiled back and we laughed. And as I read her Nomos poem by Tennessee Williams from Night of the Iguana, "Sometime where the night obscures the tree, the zenith of this life will be, gone past forever, and then from thence a second history will commence. And in a course not well designed for beings of a golden kind, whose native green must arch above this earth's obscene, corrupting love." She was delighted and exclaimed, "I always knew you were a good poet." And I said, No, I didn't write that. And she would hear none of it and ordered us shots and celebrated. And that was Molly. She always believed the best about people. Of course, the ensuing years of the plague made me absent for a couple of years, and when I finally made it back there, I walked in and ordered up, and of course Claire was still there, and I asked how Molly was. She lowered her eyes very gently to me and said, "Sorry, Molly's dead. COVID got her." We stood in an awkward silence for a moment, and then Claire told me, "Wait a minute, I have something for you," from the service, and dug under the bar top and fished out a small purple mesh drawstring screen pouch that contained inside a guitar pick, a tiny pushback pin button from the International bar, and a couple of purple mimosa seeds wrapped in plastic, and a bookmark with Molly's picture on the front, and these words written on the backside. I don't know about you, and I don't know if you knew who Molly was, but I hear her voice here. Afterglow. I'd like the memory of me to be a happy one. I'd like to leave an afterglow of smiles when the day is done. I'd like to leave an echo whispering softly down the ways of good times and laughing and bright sunny days. I'd like to take the tears of those who grieve to dry before the sun of happy memories that I leave behind before the day is done.
Put your hands together for Vincent and Phillip. Two guys in the bar talking. That's the end of part one.
All right, continuing with our activity at the Coal Yard Bar with our friend Molly. This is called Lucky Lulu and a Cat Named Bo. Thanksgiving, 3 p.m. 6th floor walk-up on an old tenement building next to the Yuki Funeral Home on 7th Street. Black and white TV on, rabbit ears up, sound off. Thanksgiving Day parade is over. Santa's been safely delivered to Macy's to the delight of children everywhere. Nothing on but football for the rest of the day. Lulu's passed out drunk and naked in the old clawfoot bathtubs. Bo's curled up on her belly, purring and kneading her chest with his paws, as if trying to revive her with the power of his love. She's holding an empty pint of Svedka. Looks like their planned Thanksgiving dinner ain't gonna happen. He turns on the bathroom light, puts on the peacoat and Mets cap, and splits, leaping down the narrow spiral staircase 2 steps at a time, still trying to trick his body into thinking it's 3 floors instead of 6. He hits the sidewalk and heads towards 2nd Avenue, turning up his peacoat collar, tipping his head down to block the damp wind. He stops at Big Bar, closed for the holiday. Circles back toward First and Blue and Gold. It's closed too. Walks up to Tile Bar in the corner. Damn, closed. He crosses First, picks up a pack of rolling papers at the bodega and checks the International Bar next door. Closed sign in the window. It's gray, windy, and desolate. No traffic, no people. Cold and frustrated, heading up First Avenue. He's thinking he'll probably end up at a McDonald's with a fucking Happy Meal and nothing to drink. Just about to go into Mickey D's, he noticed the lights on at the window of the Coal Yard Bar next door. Fuck yeah, it's open. He steps in to find the joint full of locals who, like him, are looking for some solace and sanctuary on a lonely holiday. He grabs the only remaining seat at the far curve of the bar, hangs his coat on the back of the stool and settles in for a look around, spotting Blondie and Boho, Gator Gal, Roadrunner, Snake, usual coyotes from the local bars. Opposite the bar, a wall is lined with tables filled with foil trays of turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, string beans, and cranberry sauce. There are stacks of paper plates, napkins, and plastic utensils. Folks are helping themselves to this holiday feast offered free to anybody who wanders in. They're breaking bread with family today, defined by circumstance or misfortune, but family it is. All the social misfits and outcasts who chose this dive bar as their comfort zone today. From across the bar, his writer friend Blondie waves and smiles a big hello as he's making his way toward the food tables. He offers only a mechanical nod and his best fake smile. He fills a plate high with stuffing, douses it with gravy, and returns to his stool to wash it down with a CC and soda. An attractive young lady sashays up and asks in a thick Liverpool accent if he'd mind chatting with her for a bit. He's feeling pretty low and don't even want to talk to bar buds. He doesn't sense any kind of hitting on him vibe, so he asks her, "What's up with you?" She says she's from Ibiza, freelances for Vogue Europe magazine, does lifestyle stories, and is doing a story on dive bars in New York. What the fuck, is she for real? Tells him his tats are cool, thinks he's been around a lot and might be interesting to interview. He reluctantly agrees, but only if she'll spring for a drink. She does. He orders a double makers instead of his usual cheap shit. She asks a bunch of rude, insulting, and demeaning questions about him, type of people who hang in these bars. He's embarrassed and pissed off, so he replies with subtly sarcastic answers that go right over her empty head. He thinks they'll probably satisfy the preconceived notions of her faux aristocrat Eurotrash readers. It's total bullshit, but she eats it up because it's what she wants to hear. He's done and she moves on after he hits her up for another double makers. Brenda, the bartender, asks, "What's up with that chick?" When he tells her, she laughs and says, "Just another Eurotrash vampire looking to get a taste of some coyote blood." She high-fives him and pours another double makers on the house. He finishes off his stuffing, tops it with a CC and soda for the road, fills up a big take-home plate of cold turkey scraps and spuds, sloshed with lots of thick, cold gravy. He knows Lulu's going to be hungry when she wakes up. He leaves with a quick nod toward his friends. Blondie follows him out. "Hey, Lucky, you're acting like a real shit. What the fuck's going on with you?" "Yeah, sorry. I'm just kind of in a dark holiday hole right now. You know, I'll be all right. I'll see you later. Is Lucy off her meds again?" He nods his head. "Yeah. Wow. Sorry." Kisses him on the cheek and she's gone. "Feeling a bit dizzy. Just go through the motions. Get out of here. Lift collar, pull down brim, hands in pockets. Slow, easy steps." And he's gone with the wind. Lulu's up in the bathroom brushing her teeth when he finally gets back. He leans in and notices a mean-looking purple bruise on her hip from falling in the bathtub, he's guessing. Doesn't see any blood or open wounds, so I guess it's all good. Bo's sitting up on the toilet tank watching Lulu. Lucky rolls a doobie and they smoke at the kitchen table, laughing as she wolfs down the cold take-home and tosses turkey scraps down to Bo. He pounces on them with delight, nodding her head repeatedly in satisfaction. She looks up at him and smiles. Buzzed from the bar and pretty stoned, he's mesmerized by her naked body. She looks beautiful, even under the stark bare kitchen bulb. Thinking he might just get lucky tonight if she don't start drinking again too soon. Hey, they know they ain't your Norman Rockwell holiday Thanksgiving portrait, but they're all they've got. It's going to have to do.